They're brand new, fresh human beings. Imagine if you've only been in the world for 2 years, and the first of those 2 years you were a potato laying on a mattress. They have no experience. They have no perspective on life yet. They're cute as a button, but they're all feet, no brains.
What are some tricks I can use to get him to be more relaxed when we have to use patience? I tell him we have to wait a minute, and it seems to only upset him more.
He's trying to control you, and he is, because you're getting upset and you're talking to him. You have to be patient. Wait a minute. Of course he's going to accelerate because he just won.
Just turned 2-year-old boy, hitting other children a lot. He has awareness that he's not supposed to do it, as he's constantly saying out loud, "No hitting, gentle hands." When he does it, we say, "Sorry, XYZ, are you okay?" Then turn to him and say, "No hitting," in a calm manner. Hold his hands and say, "Kind, gentle hands, please."
Why are you talking about kind, gentle hands? Does it work? He just says it after he hits. It makes no difference in their behavior whatsoever. Zero. That's all the therapy session stuff that I hate so much. They're not about words, they're about actions. Welcome to the Bratbusters Parenting Podcast. My name's Lisa Bunnage. I'm a parenting coach. I'm a mom. I'm also a grandmother.
And I'm Amy Bunnage, Lisa's daughter, and I handle the marketing and planning here at Bratbusters. While I don't have kids, each episode will dive into parenting topics and Lisa will answer your questions. Let's get started.
Okay, sweetie, what is today's topic?
Today's topic is confusing toddler behavior.
It's a very confusing topic, and they are very confusing because they don't make any sense yet. They haven't put stuff together yet. So yeah, they're going to do weird stuff. They might even put their hands down their pants and smear poop on the wall. Kind of confusing, isn't it?
It's a little confusing.
Yeah. And yet to them, they're not thinking about stuff. They're just acting. They're just trying stuff out. So and I think the message here is not that you want to try and figure them out. You just deal with stuff as it comes up. Like when I'm coaching the toddler, I never have a plan for toddlers. Like with coaching, I say, you just tell me when you want to meet. And then you have a big list of everything you want to talk to. We're just going to react to what your toddler's coming out with. And we do have some basic stuff we go through, but basically they're all so different too. You know, you can have 10 kids and every toddler is going to try something weird and different. I mean, think about it. If you're brand new in the world, I mean, everything's so new. You don't have an understanding of anything yet. So yeah, they're not going to make any sense because they haven't got any sense yet. Common sense hasn't kicked in.
And just talking about the idea of like you react to the questions is we're going to do 10 toddler questions. So if you are listening and you have something specific you're looking for, I will timestamp them and give a little description of what each question is about. Before we get started though, do you have any notes that you want to talk about with toddlers?
Well, I've got lots of stuff I could talk about. I'll do the top 5 tips for parenting toddlers. If you haven't heard this before. Anyway, number 1 is childproof your home so you never have to say no. Number 2 is you set up a toy rotation system so they're never bored. Number 3, you connect with toddlers in their world, not your world. You don't take them to the nail salon. You go to the park and roll down the hill with them. They just look at you differently. In other words, they feel like as soon as you enter their world, they feel like you sort of understand them. They just look at you differently. Number 4, it's sort of similar. You discipline toddlers in their world. So they're not about words and these mini therapy sessions that are so popular right now, which are just ridiculous. They're all about actions. So you use consistent corrective actions to correct bad behavior. Number 5 is stop trying to figure them out. They're not figure-outable. They're very confusing, which is the topic of today's podcast. Okay, the other one I was going to say is and I sort of touched on this a little bit, is that they're all so different. There are 4 things that they're born to do or they're never going to do. One of them is hitting, one of them is running, one of them is tantrums, and one of them is climbing. Those are 4 things that is in their DNA. They're either going to try them out when they're toddlers, and it's your job to train them out of that stuff. So it's not your fault they do them, but it is your job to get rid of those 4 traits because they're annoying. Well, it's okay that they climb and run appropriately, but you know what I'm saying. And also, what was I going to say about that? The 4 traits. Oh, but some of them will never do it. And then one parent said to me during a live, she goes, "My toddler has all 7." Well, there's only 4. That just struck me as funny. But anyway, yeah, they're just going to do what they're going to do. It's not your fault that they do crazy stuff, but it is your responsibility to guide them in the right direction. But it takes time. It takes patience and repetition with toddlers. They don't learn the first 10 times. It might take 20 or 50 or more.
Were there any things that I did as a toddler where you just went, that's new?
You did like to put buckets on your head. It was really weird. And she'd smash down her ears. I thought they were going to remain sideways, like, squashed down forever. She liked to do that. And shove stuff up her nose. She would put like rice bubbles up, or Rice Krispies, they're called here, but in Australia, they're called rice bubbles. And she'd shove stuff up her nose. Her brother never did anything like that. I never did anything like that. I thought, why would you do that? And I was running, trying to stop her doing it. She was like 1, and you could see it hurt, and she kept doing it. she was ramming her finger up there, shoving these up even more. And while she's going, ow, I thought, yeah, she's bright bulb here. But she was a very easy little child. She never had a tantrum or anything, but she did that. She was shoving stuff up her nose.
We have all this home video footage of me running around with a KFC bucket crammed on my head, running around as if I'm grocery shopping. But the funny thing is nowadays I love grocery shopping.
Well, she had her little shopping cart and she never liked playing with dolls. Ever. Like she just wasn't into it. She would do the odd thing, and it was the only time she'd ever play with dolls is if I was praising her. Oh, look at you, you're so nice to your little baby. And she'd go, yes, I'm nice. But it's only while I was praising her. Otherwise she wouldn't. But that bucket, she was obsessed with her little grocery shopping cart and the bucket on her head. It was weird because every time she'd get the shopping cart, she had to have the bucket on her head. And yet where you got that from, I don't know. I was not grocery shopping with a bucket on my head. So I don't know why she felt those two went together. I have no idea.
It is interesting though, because I tend to not be quite as maternal. So it actually, it's panned out. I am not as maternal and I enjoy grocery shopping.
Exactly. So we saw that early on. Yeah, it was really cute.
Okay.
She was a very easy little girl though. But just she was sort of born that way. She never liked confrontation, and she still to this day she doesn't like it. So she never had a tantrum or anything. She never wanted any confrontation from day one. Even as a baby, she hardly ever cried. She didn't like anything negative. So, and that wasn't fear-based. That was just in her basic nature. She just doesn't like anything icky.
Okay, let's get into the questions. So we have Tegan from Australia. I'm a long-time watcher. I implement the tantrum ignoring and connection afterwards. My nearly 2-year-old tantrums are diminishing, although I find it difficult to implement these methods when we're at my in-laws. They are quick to give him a treat or comfort him as soon as he's on the ground throwing his fit, and I have noticed that he's only that bad when we are there. Assuming he knows that if he throws a fit, they will give him something, my question is it suitable to remove him from the situation and take him out to the car to ride it out? Or should I have that difficult conversation with his grandparents that don't take things easily?
Okay, if they don't take things easily and these are your in-laws, I'd probably just take them out. Otherwise, I would say to them, look, it hurts my feelings when you undermine my parenting. I'm following a method here, so if you could just maybe not interfere because it hurts my feelings. If they don't respect that, I can't help you. So what I would suggest then is just take them out and let them have the tantrum in the car.
Okay, the next one is Alba from Austria. Dear Lisa, my son is 2.5 years old. He has always been very active and dramatic, but recently his behavior has escalated. I've used your methods and they have worked, meaning that for things which I already set a boundary and held it, he doesn't protest anymore. Nevertheless, he finds every week new things to challenge us. For example, at the beach, he was sprinting to the sea or sprinting towards the road. At home, he started to throw plates after he's finished. I know how to tackle difficult situations, but what about life-threatening situations where he can hurt himself? I've told him that the behavior upsets me a lot and I will leave if he keeps doing it. The next day he does it.
Okay, well, you said, okay. He already knows he shouldn't be doing it. So the first time he does it, you have to leave. The message that you're sending him, that was my shoe. We should probably cut that out.
No, that's okay.
Okay, my shoe is all squeaking. Wasn't me, it was my shoe. Anyway, so the message that you're sending him is as soon as they run towards the water or do something dangerous, and when you say, if you do that again, because he already knows not to do it, by the way, right? As soon as you say, if you do that again, you've just condoned and validated it's okay that he did it once. It's a mixed message. When they did it once, I would say, okay, we're going home now. Or I would put him on a leash. You could stay, but put him on a leash so he can't run. So in other words, I would take action right away because he already knows. You're not teaching him right from wrong. You are teaching him not to do the wrong thing that he already knows that he shouldn't be doing. So yeah, as soon as parents give that threat, if you do that again, what about the first time? So it's okay, they can do it once. It's like when a kid hits a baby and you go, if you do that again, you're in trouble, mister. So it's okay to hit the baby once, right? Then the next time they'll do it again, they'll hit the baby again. If you do that again, you see the threats are no good. Once they've done it, you have to address it. You can't ignore it. So you're ignoring the first crime and you can't. That's the mixed message.
Okay, the next one is Macy from Canada. 16-month-old is not sharing or taking turns with others.
Oh, you can't teach a 16-month-old how to share. They're still kind of a baby at that age. I say they're babies up until about 15 months, and then 16 to 35 months, they're toddlers, but it's a gray area in that. Not the 3-year-old, that's definitely more of a child, but toddler up to 35 months. But 16 months, they could still sort of be a baby. You don't teach them how to share, you just teach them how not to grab stuff off others. Okay. So that you can't teach them kindness and giving to others so much as just teach them not to grab stuff off others. You say no and then you redirect. Give them something else or move them away. They'll eventually learn, but you got to do it like 50 times before they learn. So you're not teaching them how to share, you're just teaching them how to not grab.
You do talk about just how consistent you have to be with toddlers.
You know, if you mess up, you got to pick your battles. That's why I say just pick one battle per week. I would pick everyone because I'm level 10 with what I teach because I invented all this stuff. But if you're learning how to do this, pick one battle per week and master that one, or it might take 2 weeks. Master that first, and then you're still continuing with that. But then you can add a new one the next week.
Okay, we have Lily from the United States. My toddler is 2 and is generally pretty relaxed and sweet until he has to wait for something. Waiting in line, waiting for dinner to be done, waiting for me to finish to go to the bathroom. He absolutely freaks out while waiting, crying, screaming, repeating himself over and over. What are some tricks I can use to get him to be more relaxed when we have to use patience? I tell him we have to wait a minute, and it seems to only upset him more.
Well, of course it does, because you just did what he wanted. He's doing it to upset you and to get and pull you in. If a kid did that to me, I would walk slower. Guaranteed. If a kid starts screaming, I want this, I want that, I would slow down my pace like you wouldn't believe. I wouldn't talk to them. I wouldn't look at them. That you think that he's trying to snap his fingers. Come on, come on, come on. He's trying to control you, and he is, because you're getting upset and you're talking to him. You have to be patient. Wait a minute. Well, of course he's going to accelerate because he just won. He just won. Okay, so I just ignore it. Absolutely just ignore it. And I would slow down. You might not want to, but that's me.
You would.
Oh, yes. You think you're going to snap your fingers and I'm going to run? Nope. The opposite will happen.
Okay, the next one is Amanda from the United States. 2.5-year-old, what should I do when my child says, I don't want to, about literally everything?
So, like, I don't understand that question. We're going now. I don't want to. Pick them up and put them in the car. Time for bed. I don't want to. Pick them up and put them to bed. You see, like, they're just testing you. And then you probably talk about it, right? That's what they want. Yeah, don't talk about it. If it's something that has to be done, if you say, do you want it? Let's play a game. I don't want to. Say, okay. So you meet their needs and manage their wants. The needs are stuff that has to be done. The wants are stuff that you just can say, okay, never mind then. Okay, so if she says, I don't want to for everything, if it's something she wants, she'll learn that you say, okay, never mind then. Don't give it any power is what I'm saying. Except if it's something that she wants really, but she's just playing you like a game. Yeah, but if it's something that has to be done, oh, we're going now. I don't want to. Well, here we go, and pick her up.
I think the important part, though, is that you're being fair and reasonable with your requests.
Well, that's why I said if it's something that has to be done, then fair enough. But if she doesn't want to play a game, then fair enough, don't do it. But if it's something that has to be done, like you have to go and pick up the other kid from school or something, pick her up and put her in the car. So, but always stay calm. If you show anger, frustration, or disappointment, you're not a leader. So I never showed anger, frustration, or disappointment. Just go, okay, well, here we go anyway. And kids learn. It's a lot of that's tone, your body language. Like, yeah, you're not bothering me, because they know they're being ridiculous, right? She's just testing you. Well, she would fail that. I would pass the test, right? So make sure you pass the test by not letting her manipulate you. It's just manipulation. Don't let her win. Don't even bring it up. Well, yeah, but we have to. I could imagine some parents actually saying that. If I said, okay, time to go. I don't want to, but we have to go because, oh my God, makes my skin crawl. I could not say that. If a 2-year-old said, I don't want to, I'd pick them up and we're going anywhere. I would not discuss it.
Maybe on this topic, this
is when they know it has to be done, right? They know it's something that has to be done. And you've already said, we're going to be leaving soon. Remember, we're going to pick up your brother, whatever. So this is when they understand it's a need, something that has to be done. And then they say, I don't want to. Then I make it happen.
On the topic of it's similar to this. I see a lot of talk around bedtime. Now, I can understand the idea that obviously they're only young once. You're going to cherish the days when they want your attention now, because when they're teenagers, they might want nothing to do with you. So oftentimes parents who are struggling with bedtime, saying their kid wants just one more book or all of this, and maybe the toddler's pulling out a few of the stops with that, they say, I just give in because they just love me so much, and that's why they're doing it. What are your
Okay,
thoughts
well,
on
that's the
this?
manipulation stalling technique. So let's say it is bedtime. I need a hug. You've already hugged them. You've already read to them in bed for half an hour. I need a hug. That's not a love hug. That's a manipulative hug because you've already said bedtime. You've already done all the love. That is not love at that point. That is pure manipulation. So yeah, don't give in to that. They're only young once. Yeah, they are, but don't you want them to be happy? They're not happy when they're playing you like that. If they're playing you like a fiddle, which is what that is, they're not happy. They're happier when you are a leader. Children are always at their happiest and they feel the best about themselves when they are with a leader because the leader brings out the best in them. When you feel good, you do good. When you feel bad, you do bad. Children who are manipulating their parents have low self-esteem. Not at 2 years old, they're too little for that. By the time they're 3, 4, 5 years old, their self-esteem goes in the toilet if they're manipulating you. They need, crave, and want a leader. Right from day one, they really like a leader. They like to know what's coming. It makes them feel safe. So when you say it's bedtime and then all of a sudden they're manipulating the bedtime, they don't feel as safe with you. That's not love, by the way. That's pure manipulation.
Okay, the next one is Millie from the United States. My child just turned 2. I played this game where my daughter said where she tricks me into thinking her toes disappeared and it's her favorite game, and she has such joy when she reveals that they are hiding under her hands. Recently, she started tricking me with colors she knows and calling them the wrong thing. She knows yellow is yellow and pink is pink, but will be calling them blue and another color just to get my reaction. And I say, hey, no, that's so and so color. But then she will laugh and argue. Since she's just learning colors, do I think I should not play this game so much? I feel like it's going to mess her up and make it fun to argue. I could be overthinking it though.
I think you're lucky you've got a kid with a sense of humor. I think it's great. She's having fun with you. My granddaughter does that. The other day, she said she was putting a letter. It was the letter G. She knows all the alphabets and numbers and colors. She's 19 months old. So I said, where does the A go in this puzzle? The letter A. And she goes to put it in the G. And I said, it doesn't go there. And she goes, yes, like teasing grandma. And I went, ooh, well played. Like, I love that. Also, I was saying we were doing colors. And I said, what's this? And she goes, purple. And I said, what's this? Blue, green, whatever. And then I showed her pink. And she looks at me all funny and she talks like this. She goes, purple. And I said, that's pink. And she goes, purple. It's a sense of humor. I appreciate the fact that your kid has a sense of humor. I think it's adorable. They're just teasing you. So then I said to her, I showed her red and I said, and this is blue. And she just got it right away. She went, blue. So she got it. I thought that was really cute. So yeah, your kid has a sense of humor. You're very lucky. That's the way I would do that. That's the way I would play that. Just like with my granddaughter, she's having fun with you.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, you're giving her something to argue. If it's bothering you, she will argue. You see, there was no arguing here with my granddaughter. It was more, we both knew, we were both smiling and enjoying it. So, but if you're arguing, no, now you know that's yellow, that would be the arguing. Whereas this way, it was just mutual teasing.
I do think it is interesting when you bring in the grandma antidotes. And all you do is you feed them candy for breakfast and give them lots of gifts every single day.
Well, that's only if you're a grandparent. We have different laws.
It's illegal to not spoil them.
That's right. It's interesting because I mean, I was looking forward to it, but I wasn't that excited about being a grandmother just because I loved mothering so much. I thought it can't be as good. I just thought because I wallowed in mothering. I love her as much and I adore her. I look after her one day a week. It's the best day of the whole week. I love her. It's not quite as good because it's part-time, but it's as good when I've got her. It is phenomenal. I just love being a grandmother. But I don't maybe I do spoil her a little bit more than my own kids, but I'm not giving her candy or anything. She's only 19 months old. But yeah, I still follow the same, I'm still a leader with her, but I'm not the main leader. I'm just grandma. And when the parents are there, she's their child. I'm just grandma. I know my role. I know my place. And I love watching them parent. It's beautiful. So yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it.
I love being fun aunt.
Mm-hmm. It's fun. Yeah. And I'm just fun grandma, Well, I've still got rules in that. And she's great, but she's not my kid. And I love watching my son with her and his wife. They're wonderful with her. So yeah, that part of it, I didn't expect to enjoy as much, watching them parent. I love it.
Okay. The next question is Melody from the United States. Please help. Whenever I try and sit down, my 24-month-old only child grabs my finger and pulls me to stand up. Then he wants me to carry him. If I don't get up and carry him, he screams and cries. I play with him a lot, but he insists on being picked up. How do I stop this pattern?
Just don't get up. Say no and just sit there and let him scream and cry. He might even resort to hitting you, but just you do not get up. If he said get up and he's trying to pull you to get up, say no and do not let him push you around. As soon as you start allowing stuff like that, everything else, it's just going to snowball. He's going to get worse and worse. So yeah, if you're sitting down, he's mad, and let him have a scene. Then I think you said he gets all upset. That's good. That means he's processing that you're in charge and he's not. That's all that scene is. Allow him to process that on his own. That you're in charge of your own body and you're sitting down. He is not in charge of you standing or sitting.
Okay, the next one is Hannah from the United Kingdom. Just turned 2-year-old boy, hitting other children a lot. It happens when he is overexcited, frustrated, or someone's in his space. You can see it as it's his lack of impulse control, and he has awareness that he's not supposed to do it, as he's constantly saying out loud, "No hitting, gentle hands." When he does it, we say, "Sorry, XYZ, are you okay?" Then turn to him and say, "No hitting," in a calm manner. Hold his hands and say, "Kind, gentle hands, please." We take away the fun when there is fun involved, but what to do when he is constantly hitting other children. Thank you.
Well, pull him away from those kids. Plus, why are you talking about kind, gentle hands? Does it work? He just says it after he hits. That's all. It makes no difference in their behavior whatsoever. Zero. That's all the therapy session stuff that I hate so much. They're not about words. They're about actions. As soon as he hits, I would go and grab that kid and I would pick him up and pull him away from the fun. And I would just sit with him for a few minutes and I would put him back in the fun and I would be right there watching him like a hawk. When he goes to hit, I would prevent the subsequent hits. So as soon as he goes to hit someone else, and yeah, this is hard work, but you want to train him out of hitting, right? As soon as he goes to hit another kid, I would say nope, and I would pick him up and pull him away for another 5 minutes. He will eventually learn. Hitting leads to me being taken away from the fun. You don't talk about it though. Oh, use gentle hands and all that. All you're teaching him is how to parrot that phrase, but it doesn't stop them from hitting. You're just teaching them phrases. You're not teaching them behavior at all. Makes no impact whatsoever.
Okay, we have Melanie from Australia. 1.5-year-old pulls and rips at mum and 5-year-old daughter's hair a lot. I've always done corrective actions, but it's starting to become a real problem.
1.5-year-old, don't give them access to hair. 5-year-old daughter, I would have that hair put up in a bun. And whenever that toddler's going for it, I would say no and pull them away and redirect them. That's a baby, actually, at 1.5 years old. It's still kind of a baby. Redirect. But I would also prevent that poor 5-year-old's hair from being pulled. That would upset me. So I would have their hair up in a bun whenever they're around the little one. I just would. And with myself too, I'd pull my hair back. When they go for it, I would say no, and then I would redirect them to do something else. They're doing it for the reaction at that age. They're just a baby. Okay, they're going to keep doing it as long as they can get away with it. So I would remove temptation. You're not, and I always say you don't want to remove temptation with older kids, but with a baby you do. That's along the child-proofing lines. You get tired of saying no all the time.
Okay, we have one final question. So Aman's from the United States. Toddler girl is age 34 months. Toddler screams during tantrums at grandma and when she doesn't get her way. How to stop the screaming?
You don't stop the screaming. You just make sure that it doesn't work. Don't look at her and don't talk to her when she's screaming. Make sure it doesn't get any attention whatsoever. When she's having a tantrum or screaming, just ignore it. Okay. And then when she talks nicely, then you can give her attention. But the answer may still be no. So even though she's screaming because you said no, when she does talk nicely, then you're talking to her again now. But then the answer is still no. Okay, you don't change the answer. But yeah, let her process that. The only reason she'd be doing that, she's 34 months. She should be coming out of that stuff by now if you've been handling this correctly. So it says to me that you've been talking to her or looking at her or getting upset by it. Don't show any emotion. Just let her scream, let her carry on, completely ignore that. In other words, don't feed it. Any attention is fertilizing that behavior. So just ignore it. And tell grandma, just ignore it.
Okay, that was everything.
That was everything. Okay, so it was toddlers are confusing. You bet they are. They're brand new, fresh human beings. Imagine if you've only been in the world for 2 years, and the first of those 2 years, you were a potato laying on a mattress. They have no experience. They have no perspective on life yet. They haven't seen much yet. So they are going to do crazy things. They're cute as a button, but they're all feet, no brains. And they're going to do crazy stuff. That's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to train them out of the stuff that you don't want them to do, like the hitting, etc. So they will eventually learn, but it takes a while. They might even revert back and try it again. So just follow through. It's just a very short time in their life. You'll look back on it and think, yeah, toddlers are just crazy. Okay. And you know what's interesting is when people hire me and they have older kids and they have a toddler, sometimes they'll say, do you want to talk about the toddler? And they go, nah, they're just nuts. So they get it. It's just a crazy stage. Cute as a button, but they are kind of crazy. Okay. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be back again soon with another parenting topic. Happy parenting.
Thanks for tuning in. If you're ready to dive deeper, check out bratbusters.com to learn more about the behavior board, parenting courses, and private one-on-one coaching with Lisa. If you've enjoyed the show so far, we'd love it if you could take a moment to follow, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us reach more parents just like you. The information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only and is not intended as a substitute for professional advice. Lisa is a parenting coach, mom, and grandmother. She is not a licensed psychologist or counselor. Her services do not replace the care of psychologists or other healthcare professionals. For a full disclaimer, please visit bratbusters.com/disclaimer.